And where that green grass grows, lots of times you'll find the deer standing there eating and having fun. Will you not, Trey?
You can find deer chewing on that green grass, Bob.
Trey Reid from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, you guys are having a busy last week, a busy this week.
It's been a busy time over there at the Game and Fish Commission, and yeah, we had our monthly commission meetings last week. I believe we were talking about that a little bit last Tuesday, and the regulation proposals related to deer hunting and chronic wasting disease came out, and as you mentioned, it's already shaping up to be a busy week this week. We had a live call-in show on AETN last night, and then going to have public meetings tonight and again Thursday night at 11 locations around the state to talk about these and just kind of get the public up to speed on what we've proposed and why we're proposing it.
Right. Now, CWD regulation proposals, some of them are allow deer and elk hunting with the use of bait October 1st through December 31st statewide.
That's right, Bob, and that's a little bit of a departure from kind of the speculation we right. had discussed here previously, and that there was a lot of talk about doing away with that. But I think our wildlife biologists kind of took a step back and looked at it, and the way that they're looking at this is, baiting can be a good management tool. I mean, it's going to put deer in front of your stand, and we anticipate, but because of chronic wasting disease, that deer harvest probably is going to go down a little bit, and in some areas we don't want it to. We want to increase the harvest, and so we want to allow hunters to have that tool, particularly in that time of year when they're more than likely going to be using bait anyway, and so that would allow them to take some more deer and get those deer in front of their deer stands.
Well, like we say, we're talking about CWD regulation proposals. I gave you that one. There's also the one prohibit feeding of wildlife statewide.
And that's an important distinction to make. I'm glad you bring that one up, because when, the difference between baiting and feeding, you're obviously putting something out for the deer to eat. But baiting is feeding with the express intention of harvesting an animal over that bait. Now, what we're talking about prohibit feeding statewide is if you just drawing deer to a feeder because you want to look at them, and we know people like to do that, but that's concentrating animals in a way that is going to potentially speed the spread of the disease when you've got a lot of animals in close proximity. So we don't really want folks to feed just for feeding's sake, and that's why we're proposing to prohibit that statewide, but allow baiting October 1st through December 31st for hunting purposes.
Well, there's a lot of CWD regulation proposals, and I wish we had time to go over every one of them. How could a person find out what those proposals are?
Bob, you can go to our website, agfc.com, and there's a list of all of those. We've put out several, news releases, and we're actually direct emailing a lot of, people that have signed up for permits and stuff in the past where we've captured their email address. We're sending those out, but probably the best way to learn more about these is we're having public meetings around the state tonight and then again Thursday night. And tonight we'll be in Jonesboro, Monticello, Hot Springs, Russellville, Fayetteville, and then here at the headquarters in Little Rock. So we've got 6 meetings tonight, held simultaneously, 6 p.m. You can get the exact locations and addresses at our website, agfc.com. And if we're not close to you tonight, Thursday night we'll be in Camden, Brinkley, Fort Smith, Hope, and Mountain Home. So surely we'll be close to you. Come on out and tell us what you think about these regulations. Ask questions and find out why we're proposing what we're proposing.
And for folks like myself that go to bed early, that don't get to come to these meetings, there's places we can get that information.
You can get that information at agfc.com, and again, we've got some videos. We've got a page devoted to chronic wasting disease, agfc.com/CWD, and again, go to our website. Hey, give us a call, 223-6300, 501-223-6300. We'll be glad to talk to you and tell you what all's going on.
Now, this issue is a very important issue. The Game and Fish Commission wants to hear your input, and they want to share their input with you as well. So make one of those meetings or keep up with the information.
Bob, this is as one of our biologists put it, this thing is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And if you can't make one of these meetings, there's going to be a lot of information coming out between now and deer season, and we're going to do our best to keep the public informed and let them know what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Now, when y'all set those seasons?
They're going to be set June 24th. There'll be a special meeting of the commission. The regular meeting in June is actually 15th and 16th, but because that won't be 30 days after these proposals were made last week, we're going to have a special meeting June 24th to vote on these regulations.
That's when they'll be set.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my friend. Appreciate
Thank you, Bob.
a lot.
Appreciate you letting us get the word out.
Hey, our pleasure. Trey Reid from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission with Bob Robbins in the morning.